And if you go to the news center, there's a big story. Who is blocking the Rectron deal?
You.
Sidelining $1.15 billion rescue package for $50 million offer. That story is on the front page. You know, the 80 Rectron deal plus other things. The news center is asking who is blocking the Rectron deal. Sam Jata George's photo is on the front page of the newspaper. Now, ex-BOG Deputy Governor wins inaugural Oxford Fellowship. That is about Mrs. Elsie Ado Awaji. And legal battle looms between Rural Bank CEOs and BOG. Remember the story we discussed on Monday? The 12 years issue. Yes. Almost a year ago. You cannot apply the law this way. So the Rural Bank CEOs are fighting BOG. Now, the BOG also wants to sell $1.15 billion for gold purchases, and 25 million bail, 5 sureties kept Wontumi in custody.
Well, the publisher this morning also has that story. Order by court, Wontumi can't leave Ghana. They've placed a 25 million Ghana cedi bail on him, and he's struggling to meet the bail terms according to this newspaper. Government in galamsey publicity stunt, says the minority. So the minority believes that it's not a true fight on the part of government. NPP UK clarifies Dr. Dako's comments on Ashanti MPs, and he's also been saying quite a lot in terms of how the party ought to approach the campaign going forward. So these are some of the stories you'd find when you grab a copy of the publisher this morning.
Now, the daily graphic for this morning says, brave female chief chases galamseyers out, rejects 2 million cedis offer, seizes excavators. And so the chief of window in the Efia-Kwesimintim municipality near Takrady in the West Region were told that, rejected this 2 million Ghana cedis. That's Nana Kwesi Esiem, the fourth. If you go to Takrady, she's known as Pink Lady.
And her name is Nana Kwesi?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, she's the chief of window.
Okay.
Yes. Even though she's female, she's still the chief of window. So Nana Kwesi Esiem, the fourth. And she rejected this offer and seized, the excavators. So, that's a good one. NIMOS cracks down on galamseyers, hundreds rounded up, equipment set ablaze. Okay, we're back to that, situation again. Chairman Wontumi pleads not guilty to illegal mining charges, granted 25 million cedis bail. You've talked about that. That's on the front page of the daily graphic.
Now, if you go to the BNFT, BOG steps up banking oversight. Dr. Johnson Asiama is on the front page. Energy leaders to chart path for sustainable power sector at Pre-Ghana Economic Forum Roundtable is happening today. And on the economy, output decreases despite ongoing new order growth. Now, business activity falls for third time in 3 months. New orders continue to rise, and businesses are confident that they are going to grow, and there's a renewed increase in input cost. If you also check the front page of the BNFT, 9.4% inflation sounds good, but can citizens feel the victory? Can we?
Well, it depends on where you are. It depends on what you buy. But the most important thing, however, is that it gives a sense. And so a lot of the things we're doing, so, because our policy rate is inflation targeted and all of that, that in itself would give an indication that things are going well. You have the Bank of Ghana, reducing policy rate. If they reduce policy rate, what it means then is that the cost of credit reduces. If the cost of credit reduces, the cost of doing business, all other things being equal, might reduce. If it reduces, then it means that your disposable income would increase, because then you don't have to spend too much.
Yeah.
So, it's but most importantly, it depends on what you buy.
Now, a final story from the BNFT. Standard Chartered celebrates their clients as Customer Service Week commences.
Okay. The Ghanaian Times is talking about the National Service Scheme. It appears that applicants would have to reapply. That's the directive from the National Service Authority. So the new Director General Ruth Delassedo has been addressing the press on a number of issues. For instance, some 2,000 applicants not finding their details, and some other issues with this old system. We understand that they are being migrated into this new system, aided by the National Identification Authority. So probably that's what's accounting for a refresh or a reset of that process. So yeah, you can find out details of that when you grab a copy of the Ghanaian Times. The president is still celebrating UDS for the World University Championship. Looks like the president is really celebrating that, and the Ghanaian Times has a picture of President Mahama loading UDS. Now, Sandvik Mining is expanding now to Cote d'Ivoire, and we're not land guards. That's according to the chief of Kataman, so he's rejecting all of these claims about mining in that area. So, yeah, some of the stories there on the front page of the Ghanaian Times this morning.
Now, the Ghanaian publisher, Bagbin strikes, no money, no sitting. Dami Rabish's Jacques claim, Wontumi placed on stop list, and also talks about ownership of the Bogoso Pristia mine. And so I think on Monday, there was a story about Blue Gold, talking about Heeth. Goldfields trying to take over, and Heeth Goldfields has responded. They say Heeth Goldfields defense takeover. They say that it was on the 12th of November that the mining lease was granted to them by the recommendation, was granted to them by the minister on the recommendation of a commission via tender, and upon thorough evaluation by the tender committee. That was because Blue Gold had been unable to actually operate the mine, and thus their lease was terminated and subsequently granted to them. So it's not like they are deliberately taking over. It's not something that has happened this year. It's something that happened last year.
Yeah, Blue Gold obviously don't agree. Their side of the story is that, well, the reason why they weren't able to start operation is because the deal that they made with the Minerals Commission was not adhered to by the Minerals Commission. They were supposed to help them to get certain permits in order for them to start working, and they never did. So why would you not give me what what I need to operate, and then penalize me for not operating?
Okay.
So Obiana side, right?
Anyway, let's get into other papers. Do you have other papers?
Yes, I have the Inquisitor. Falsehood over road project. Ashanti NPP MPs whip Gabi. They are not happy with Gabi Ochidako. And Gold Board Task Force grabs 4 for illegal gold buying. Okuape Hima addresses media today. That's also on the front page of the newspaper. And if you go to the Ashanti region, the regional minister says that there's friction between MPs and DCEs, and it's going to affect development in the region.
How is that going to affect development?
Because there is, the District Assemblies Common Fund taking decisions within the districts and the local assemblies. The MPs are all key stakeholders in running and governing.
The MPs have their share of the Common Fund. The MPs are expected to go and lobby for projects. If the MP lobbies for projects, and the projects are brought to the assembly, to the district will benefit. The DCE, the District Assembly, has control over their common fund.
Yeah.
The MP doesn't have control over the District Assemblies Common Fund. The MP has control over his share of the common fund, and the MP is expected to actually monitor and evaluate projects. How is that friction impeding development? I don't understand.
But the Ashanti region's situation is quite different. A lot of the MPs are NPP, the DCs are NDC. And if history is anything to go by, usually some of these DCs aspire to be MPs. Right? So let's watch the region and let's advise them to work together.
You're so right. But my only challenge is when we explain problems when there are even none. Because the point is that if government decides to take a project to, say, Oforikrum, the MP, if the MP goes to lobby and says, I want this project here, is the DCE going to write to say, we don't need that project, don't bring it here? Is that what the DCE is going to do when, say, the ministry decides that they are going to do that? I mean, I know that sometimes people aspire to be MPs and all of that. So what they actually do is to delay the release of the MP's share of the common fund.
Yeah.
But the MP share of the common fund is not much. And the challenge is that a lot of MPs use their common fund for the payment of school fees. Because yes, and sometimes if you are in good times, they use it for they pay school fees. Some will use it to construct a classroom block or something, or maybe renovate it, because it may not even be enough to construct a classroom block under the present circumstances. So my point is that let's not start something which really is not a problem.
You know, I watched the parliamentary encounter between the Fajato South DCE and the local government committee, right? And when he was asked how development was being done, it was to do with some boreholes. He was asked whether the MP was consulted. What the chair said was that because the MPs go around campaigning for their seats, they make promises. So if you are administering development in the district, you need to bring them closer to the decision table, right? So an MP cannot go and promise Ayawaso people that I'll maybe some corner in Ayawaso that I'll build you boreholes, and the DCE decides to take it elsewhere. That also creates misunderstandings and friction. So yes, the structure is there, the District Assemblies Common Fund, the MPs, but when it comes to other things, if they work together, right, they could deliver development better.
I don't know. My personal view is that the DCE should run the place, right?
Yep.
And that will teach MPs not to go and make promises when it's not up to them to fulfill those promises. So if the fact that an MP has gone to promise some corner, that they will build them something, doesn't mean that when a DCE comes along and has been tasked with the job of managing that district, it's his job, he's the mayor, right? He must now subsume his vision under the promises of an MP. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get it.
So for me, let the systems run. If the systems are running, MPs will know that they can't go and promise people things when it's not up to them to deliver.
Unfortunately, it's the MP who is representing the people in parliament.
But representing people in parliament is not the same as building schools.
But getting into those positions takes different routes and different demands,
including lying about delivering on projects.
Let me make this point. There are senior citizens who have said Ghana's parliament needs very few people, and they would draft some of the best laws for us. What's this whole idea of an MP's share of the common fund? Under the Jerry Rawlings administration, first term, we're told that monies were sent to district assemblies that could not be used for the quarter. So part of it had to be returned to the states. Then Minister of Works and Housing, I think, Squadron Leader Clenso said, because members of parliament go about making promises, these members of parliament should be giving a share of the common fund so they could use to redeem the promises that they made. Now, this is where the problem begins. I will just explain this in 1 minute. The whole idea of our system and of the MP being given monitoring and evaluation funds every quarter, because we say that per the principles of accountability, the DCE, apart from being accountable to the assembly members, should also be accountable to the member of parliament, for instance. Not to the member, but the member of parliament should also be able to have oversight over some of the things that happen in the district, as in go and monitor, see what is being done right. Because when approvals are given from the national level, as a member of parliament, you should be able to check. Now, if you give the MP a share of his common fund, which is supposed to be released by the district assembly, by the DCE, and the DCE is also doing certain things that you don't like. Look at the collision here.
Yeah.
We have only set up a system that allows two people, if they ever agree,
to never check each other.
Exactly. So the whole concept of ACTA, forum, accountability, the ACTA will go and account to the forum, is lost on us. Because as for us, our basic principle is that Benkum join if I Benkum.
Yeah.
What kind of a system is this?
Anyway, let's bring the other newspapers and go online. Daily Guide, 25 million bill for mining offences. Wontumi arrested again. That's on the front page of the Daily Guide. And Accra submerged under flood waters. 1 killed in bloody chieftaincy clash. And Gold Board naps 6 in illegal gold deal. Inquisitor mentioned 4. Daily Guide says 6 in the illegal gold deal.
NamajoOnline.com this morning says NPP imposed 12,000 unpaid workers on us before leaving office. Employment Minister alleges.
So pay them.
It continues. It's in their DNA to leave problems behind. Rashid Purple blast NPP over unpaid nurses crisis.
In whose DNA is it to solve problems? Nobody.
I was surprised. I didn't know Domelevo to be that political. Ayikwe O2. But that's because Domelevo had accused him. Says Ayikwe O2 submitted fake evidence during talk on News Probe. Domelevo claims. Also here, multimedia group executives meet New Access Bank MD Pearl Nkrumah to deepen business relations. On citynewsroom.com this morning, it says BOG to inject 1.15 billion into forex market to stabilize cedi. Oral lack of prosecutions after 9 months unacceptable. That is according to Domelevo. Motorcycle couriers petition IGP over police harassment, roadblocks, and Haruna Idrisu slams NAT president for advising teachers to pursue female colleagues.